I'm Emily Hockman, the CEO and founder of Wellory. I am also a certified health coach. Wellory is the first anti-diet nutrition app that matches you one-on-one with a certified nutrition coach to help you learn how to eat, what to eat, why to eat, and become the healthiest version of yourself possible. To kick it off, I would love for everyone to introduce themselves, and then we're going to talk about some really amazing nutrition habits that we're going to be prioritizing for the new year.
Hey, I'm Lofton Dorch, and I am an integrative nutritional health coach and registered nurse.
Hello, my name is Bridget. I am a Wellory nutrition coach, and I have a background in culinary nutrition as well as clinical dietetics.
Hi, I'm Tammy Brooks Marino, and I am a registered dietitian, and I'm also a certified health and wellness coach.
So as you can see, our team is actually all over the country. And one of the things that we love most is that we're able to also work with customers all over the country. The importance of wellness and nutrition is that we're all about personalization for you and building healthy habits. No matter your age, your size, your shape, your color, we will work one-on-one with you to figure out what to eat, how to eat, and why to eat so that you can finally hit your goals and keep your goals sustainable for the new year. One of the hardest things about weight loss or health journey or just wellness is creating that community and that tribe and that accountability buddy, that team member for you to help you hit your goals. And that's exactly what we at Wellory are here to do. So I'm super curious as we head into the new year. I want to know what our team is doing, what their resolution is, specifically focused on nutrition that perhaps is a little bit different than any other year. So Lofton, tell me, what does 2021 look like for you?
In 2021, when looking to optimize my nutrition, one of the best pieces of advice I could give would be to just keep it simple.
What does simple mean? Break that down.
So simple means a lot of times some of the pitfalls that we fall into when we're going to make a change is we're super excited, really motivated, and we try to do too much all at once and end up getting overwhelmed. So by keeping it simple with your nutrition, you're able to develop a sustainable change, and you're not trying to grab every recipe from Pinterest that you can and try to fit it in each night of the week and try something new and exciting. While that may sound great, when it comes down to it, a lot of times if we're trying to do something new every single day, then we get really overwhelmed. So to keep it simple, you can just pick 2 or 3 really fun, healthy recipes that you enjoy and that taste great to you, and just go back to those week after week until you kind of establish this routine and rhythm. Then once you get that routine and rhythm down, you can start throwing in some new stuff here and there, but that way you won't get overwhelmed and you'll be able to develop this routine that's sustainable and a change that will last.
I love that. One thing we talk about a lot as a team is consistency. Consistency is key to habit building. I know for me, I eat the exact same breakfast every single day of the week. It doesn't matter what day it is, where I am, I always have an avocado toast with 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread and a little bit of hot sauce on top. Lofton, what is your one simple recipe that you can share that you're going to be prioritizing this year?
One simple recipe, one that I really like to do is I like to just get a sweet potato and I like to bake that. And then I just put some black beans on top, some salsa, avocado, and a little cotija cheese. And it's fantastic and super easy.
I have to go try that. I love that.
I love this idea, by the way. And I think it's great that you can make it simple so a majority of the family can enjoy it too, like your kids and other family members that may not like those crazy, exquisite recipes. So I love the keeping it simple. I think it's a great idea.
So one thing that is always interesting to me is to really figure out how can we debunk all the clutter that exists online right now, specifically around nutrition. One thing that I find most interesting and I think isn't true is that there's such a thing as one size fits all dieting. And I just don't believe that. I think every human has a different body, a different way of digesting food, a different way of reacting to foods, whether it's keto, intermittent fasting, going gluten-free. There's all this information out there about all different types of dieting. And the truth of the matter is, it's really important to figure out what works best for you and your body and not listen to any other diet just because maybe it worked for somebody else.
I think one of the biggest social media myths is that being healthy is simple, which it can be, but what you see is a lot of influencers who are involved with health and fitness and wellness. An important point to make that I don't think many people realize is that that's either their job or it's their hobby. So as your job, of course, you're getting paid to focus on it, 8 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, however long, but that's what they do. That's how they make their living, which there's nothing wrong with that. But when we look at it from the outside, if it's not your job, then you don't have all that time to spend, focusing on your fitness and your health. So it's really important to realize that if it's not your job or it's not a hobby where you finish work and then you're going to go put in the time and spend the time to do that every day, just cut yourself some slack, because there's no problem with that. If you can't make that extravagant meal and you only have time to throw something simple together, that's fine. I think it's important to do what works best for you and don't compare yourself to the influencers and people you see and follow on social media who actually do that for their job.
So one of the myths that is out there right now is that we can solely utilize fat as a fuel source for exercise. And when you want to perform using only fat, you tend to eliminate a lot of foods from food categories. You have to be very careful about how much carbohydrate you take in. And we know that carbohydrates are really important to our overall health. We get carbohydrates not only from our grains, but from our fruits and our vegetables. So I don't really think it's so good to eliminate complete food groups just because we want to burn only fat as a fuel source.
So a popular nutrition myth that I see on social media pretty often is that fad diets that cause weight loss are healthy. And that is not the case. There's so much pressure that individuals put on themselves in order to lose weight. And often when people go on these fad diets, they are thinking short term, and new habits are not even developed in that short period of time. So when people make these changes in their diet and they implement new sustainable habits into their daily routines, they think long-lasting, long-term sustainable habits that work within their lifestyle, and they also keep in mind their favorite food preferences as well.
Great. So I would love to know, what is everyone's favorite seasonal snack? I love enjoying carrots and hummus. I keep a tub of hummus in my refrigerator basically at all times. And I actually love a garlic hummus because it's a good anti-inflammatory as well. And then I'll keep a bag of little baby carrots that I dip in every time I need just a crunch with a healthy fat that'll keep me full while I'm in the mood for snacking.
A great seasonal snack recipe that I love to go to. I don't know if you've ever heard of Medjool dates, but Medjool dates, they're really soft. They're almost gooey-like. They have small pits in the middle, so you want to just kind of make a small cut, or you can even tear them open. If they're really fresh, they'll be nice and soft. You just take that pit out, get your favorite nut butter, whether it's peanut butter or almond butter, and you just put that inside, put a few almonds on top or walnuts, and it makes this just gooey, like nutty, almost candy bar like taste. But those dates, it's just a natural sweetener, and so it's this sweet, nutty taste, but it's great for you. It's going to give you energy. It's great to eat before a workout, after a workout, if you're just hungry or craving something sweet. And it's very natural, very good, and I guarantee you will go back to that time and time again.
One of my favorite recipes that I like to tell people about, especially during the fall time, because it really brings in the fall flavors, are energy bites. I love these little energy bites because they're really easy to make and they take no time at all, and there's only a few ingredients. So what you do is you take some whole oats, like nice good hearty oats, and you can use a nut butter, and it could be any nut butter. And then I take some maple syrup, and I actually, to bring in the fall season, I use some pureed pumpkin. And you mix it all together in a bowl, and then you just form little balls, and you put them in the refrigerator, and they are just delicious. And you can use these energy bites with the pumpkin puree to bring in fall, or without the pumpkin puree.
My favorite easy seasonal snack recipe this year is a comforting chai tea latte. I absolutely love just sitting on my couch with a delicious chai tea latte, and it's less sugar than the ones that you get at a cafe. And I will kind of describe what I do pretty quickly. So what I like to do is take a organic chai tea bag, and I steep it in a small amount of boiling water just to make sure it's super concentrated and flavorful. And then I will add about 2 teaspoons of coconut sugar and just let that all sit together for about 5 minutes. And then after that, I will add some almond, or I've been loving soy milk recently, and then put that back on the stove about like medium-high heat and let that sit or until it's warmed up for a few minutes, just until it's warmed through. Don't bring it to a boil. And then after that, I will froth it. So I just use my little frother and just make sure it's super creamy and rich. And if I'm feeling crazy and if I have it on hand, I like to top it with some almond milk whipped cream and then a little sprinkle of cinnamon. So that's been my favorite snack, I guess more of a drink, but it's absolutely delicious.
Great. Those are all awesome answers. Next, I would love to hear, what's your simple or your favorite self-care hack? Mine, I love drinking hot water and lemon every single morning. I literally cannot start my day without it. It's a really good way to kick off your metabolism, really jumpstart your digestion, and actually gives me just the hydration I need to jumpstart my morning.
So one act of self-care I think that everybody should really take for themselves is to get adequate sleep. But the other thing I like to tie into getting the adequate sleep is to take some time to clear your mind before you go to sleep. So sleep, really, we should get as 8 hours if we can every single night, because a lot is happening when we're sleeping. That's the time when our body is repairing itself from the stresses of the day. So if you've exercised that day, that sleep time is where your muscles are repairing themselves, protein's being laid down, muscle is rebuilding. So that's really important. Sleep is also very important because it gives our time for our system to digest and slow down and do what it needs to do. So if we're not getting enough sleep, it really impacts our overall health.
So a simple self-care activity that I like to practice, and it's often overlooked, is practicing distraction-free eating. So we are all guilty of sitting down in front of the TV before a meal at some point, right? So making a conscious effort to reduce distractions, such as scrolling through social media or watching that really addicting Netflix series, or even reading a book during your meals, you will be able to focus on your food and you'll be able to savor the meal a lot more and feel more satisfied more quickly.
So a lot of times when we think about self-care, we automatically go towards nutrition and activity, physical activity. So we think what we eat and how often we work out, or what we do to sweat and, put in the work. But self-care is so much more than that. Self-care is about identifying your needs and what you need, whether that's physical, emotional, spiritual, and taking the time to actually meet those needs. So when I look at what I need, sometimes I need to just put my phone down. I need to get away from everybody, and I need to just take time to really relax, think, and explore how I am emotionally, physically, spiritually, with my relationships. And so for me, that involves taking a bath. Maybe you put some bubbles in there, some essential oils to give it nice smell. You could have some lotion, some soft music playing in the background. It's literally like going to the spa, except it doesn't cost you anything. So for me, just taking that time to relax, to turn the lights down, to light a candle, listen to some music, maybe read a book. It's that time where I have to myself, where I'm focusing on what I need. And what I need at that time is just to relax, to take a break, to not talk to anybody, to not look at my phone or think about what I have to do next. It's that time specifically for myself where I can just take time for me, relax, and just really enjoy caring for my body and what I need.
Okay, so we know this topic is hot right now. It's never been more relevant, and we're seeing it all over the internet, all over the media. Immune boosting tips and tricks. Let's hear it. What are your favorites? For me, especially during COVID and kicking off in March, I did what I call a fireball shot every morning. It's really simple to make. A little bit of hot water, a quarter squeeze of lemon, a sprinkle of turmeric, a sprinkle of cayenne, a little bit of honey, and I mix it up, and I do a shot of that every morning to really boost my immune system and make sure that I'm ready to fight off any viruses that maybe I'm coming in contact with.
So there are so many different immune boosting foods out there, fruits, vegetables, as well as herbs. And I'm sure everyone is, scrolling through the internet and finding so many right now, especially during this time. But the one I want to focus in on are probiotics. So probiotics give your body immune support, and they also inhibit the growth of harmful gut bacteria. So getting in your fermented foods such as kimchi, kefir, sauerkraut. I personally love sauerkraut. I actually use it as a supplement almost. And it's a fun fact that 1 forkful of sauerkraut daily provides your body with 1 billion CFUs of live probiotics. So it's absolutely delicious and nutritious. And I don't have it on hand, but I use Bubby's sauerkraut, and it's just 3 ingredients. Very simple: cabbage, water, and salt. So super clean and very nutritious, and for sure immune boosting.
So having a really strong immune system is very, very important. And one of the ways to have a strong immune system is to have a very nutrient-rich, fiber-rich diet overall. In fact, 80% of our immune system lives in our gut. And there's lots of microbes that live down there in our gut. And their whole job is one of 2 things, depending if they are considered a good bacteria or a bad bacteria. So our bad bacteria like to cause inflammation and wreak havoc down there. And then our good little guys, they're the ones that say, okay, bad guys, you need to stop that because we've got to digest our food. We have to eliminate the toxins and the waste, take bad things out of the body. But these guys, whether they're good or bad, they work in harmony together. So it's really important to have balance. You can't only have good and you can't only have bad. They must live together. And in order to have a strong immune system, we have to have a diet that's very rich in vitamins and minerals and fiber. And where do we get those from? Mostly from our plants and our whole grains. So that's why you will hear a lot of people advocating for making sure that you take in enough fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Whole grains are important because they still retain the fiber from the wheat plant. So that could be anything like your oatmeal, whole wheat bread, brown rice. So they tend to be brown in color. So you're going to want to be taking in whole grains versus white bread or white rice that has been stripped of that fiber. So just remember, a diet that's rich in fiber, fruits, and vegetables is going to keep harmony in your gut, which is going to boost your immune system.
So a big immune booster that a lot of people don't really consider is sleep. Sleep is so important when it comes for our bodies to be able to rest and recover. So when you think about sleep, a lot of people, and you hear it so often, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're working on an idea or something, I've heard it said multiple times that you can sleep when you're dead, right? So I can sleep when I'm dead. I've got too much to do. But really, sleep is amazing, not only for immune system, but it's also great for mental clarity. Your brain has time to actually regenerate and to rest and relax. And it'll actually make you sharper and better prepared to tackle like whatever you have the next day or the week. As we let our bodies, as we overwork our bodies, we continue to get more tired, run down. We tend to not recognize or care for our physical needs, whether that's just eating, drinking, sleeping. So sleep is a simple way that you can just get those 7 to 8 hours if you can. Start slow, work your way up. If you're only getting 4 or 5 hours a night, maybe shoot for 6 hours. Then you can go for 7. But I feel like 7 to 8 hours of sleep is that optimal time where your body's able to rest and recover. And you can really build up that immune system, which is so important, especially right now we're concerned about viruses and sickness. And that's just one simple way that we can really care for ourselves, our body, and our immune system.
I love to hear this. You guys are so spot on. And now, at a time when it's never been more relevant, it's the top of the new year. What are some foods that we can all eat to support our 2021 resolutions? I'll share something that I make sure to have at least a few times a week, try every single day. I love a good sauteed kale or a good kale salad. And I'm not just eating salad to eat greens, but kale is actually high in antioxidants, which can help lower your cortisol levels and keep you stress-free during the day. So during a really busy workday, I like to have some sauteed kale or some kale chips or even just a little sprinkle of kale in any salad I'm having to help keep me as stress-free as possible.
The one food that you can eat to support your New Year's resolution, no matter what your resolution is, are legumes. Beans are your friend. Beans provide so much nutrition to the human body, they are considered a superfood. So beans are rich in vitamins and minerals and fiber. Yes, fiber is my friend. Fiber is your friend, and it will help you. When you eat legumes, and pretty much you could eat them every day, and you should eat them every day, you are fueling your gut, right? And then we're going to have good balance. So we're going to have good digestion. So everything's going to work well in the body. So I always like to recommend that everybody get in 1 to 2 serving beans per day.
As we start looking into New Year's resolutions, and a lot of times what comes with that is nutrition and fitness. A lot of people think about that. Nutrition is great. It's a great way to jump in and care for your body. But one of the biggest things that I can think of that most people do when they're looking to improve their nutrition is to just jump all in at once. You jump in, you try to find all the recipes you can on Pinterest, Instagram. And the problem with that is a lot of times you can get overwhelmed. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So a great idea that you can do when it comes to your nutrition is to just keep it simple. And a great way to do that is finding a few simple and easy recipes that you really like that are easy to throw together and you can go back to every single week. And once you're used to making those, it becomes very easy and you don't have to think about it. So you're just throwing it together. You're eating foods that make you feel alive, make you feel healthy, amazing. So when you do that, it's easy to get a rhythm. Our palates change, our lifestyles change, and a lot of times we just need that simple recipe to go to that we can add into our routine and we can just go back to week in and week out. But also we can sub in and out if we want to once we get in that routine, because we do, our tastes change. We want a little variety, then we can do that. But don't try to jump in all at once and think you have to make these extravagant meals. If you just keep it nice and simple, then it'll be really easy to just establish that rhythm. So one way that I like to do that is it's called a bowl. So it's very simple. You get a bowl. If you have a grain, a protein, a green, and a veggie, that's it. You can add in as much as you want. So one of the bowls I really like to do is I like to get some brown rice. I like to get some sauteed onion and bell pepper. Just open a can of black beans, heat them up really quick, put that in there. and then maybe a chicken breast or some tofu on the side. And that's just a great, simple bowl. And the great thing is you can just keep subbing it in and out. So you can sub out your green, you can sub out your veggie or your protein. And it's the same general construction, so it's super easy to make. But depending on what seasonings you put on top, that adds different flavors. So whatever you're in the mood for, whatever your palate likes, then you can change based on your preferences.
So foods to eat to support the resolution of increasing energy this year. Sometimes we often feel sluggish, lethargic. We just want to get through our day and feel super energetic and productive. And this is going to sound crazy, but it's very simple. Bananas are number one. So they're an excellent source of complex carbohydrates, potassium, as well as vitamin B6, which all support and help boost energy levels to last longer, even rather than coffee. So you're not going to result in that caffeine dip, and you're going to have a nice energy level boost for a midday snack. You can even add it to smoothies or cut some slices on a rice cake, and you'll feel energized for the rest of your day.
All right. Last one, we'll do a myth buster. This might be a little hard, but does something come to mind that everyone says, this is what you have to do, and you actually don't subscribe to that? Something in the nutrition world. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people think there's kind of this thought out there that in order to lose weight, you need to eat as little food as possible, when in fact, eating less food actually causes your body to hang on to fat and try to conserve because it's not getting the nutrients and nutrition that it actually needs. So a lot of people try to restrict food when actually you should be eating more food, giving your body that energy and that fuel it needs in order to function at its best.
I couldn't agree more. Bridget, what do you think?
So I think that when people focus on the low-fat products at the grocery store instead of the cookies with maybe the real sugar in it, they don't read what else is in those cookies, and that can lead to other health complications. So there's a lot involved in the low fat and the low sugar, and it's all science-based in the factories. So who knows what else they're putting in there? So it's not really the healthier option, and there are definitely more healthier options out there for you.
Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining today's workshop. If you would like to learn more, please visit wellory.com, WELLORY.com. You can find us on Instagram at Wellory, and again, available in the App Store and Google Play. Just search Wellory. I hope you all take away some amazing insights today, put them into your every single day so that you can stay stronger for good.